Earl Nightingale, who is one of my favorite people and experts, says that we have incredible untapped potential that we probably don't even, that we don't even realize. And so what we really want to do today is to help you explore that untapped potential. So let me see you by a show of hands. Who feels that you're the best you can be, or do you think that you have more potential that you haven't used? So who's the best you can be right now? Huh? You're the best you can be? Huh?
Right now.
For right now.
For right now.
Stephen, you're the best for right now. Right. At this moment. Yeah. And do you feel that you've got room for growth and more potential? Great. I always like to ask, because I don't want to be talking to a room full of people who already feels they know all the answers, because I think it's it's an ongoing quest for improvement. But it's incredible to me to think that we are producing somewhere around 95 to 98% of our that we have untapped potential. So we've got an awful lot that we can accomplish. One of the things in my coaching that I find is that all too frequently we make the solutions to what we want to do too complex. I would hope that today what we're going to do is to simplify some ways for you to increase your potential and become more productive. The name of my company is Simply Successful, and I really do believe in that mantra. So there are some keys to what we're going to do. I'm basically just going to cover 4 topics, and Kathy will take you through several more. But the key to this whole thing is it's not that difficult to tie into that untapped potential. It's that sometimes we just make it more complicated than it needs to be. So one of my favorite authors, John Naisbitt, talked about in 1982, which is a little over 30 years ago, how we were going to get overwhelmed by this change to the information society, which is here now. There are some interesting things about that change that I think tie into this today. One of them is this, and I think you can all identify with this. The information society makes everything readily available to us, right? Everything is at our fingertips. As we get through this discussion this morning, we want to talk a little bit more about the profound impact that has on the way we get things done. And I won't dwell on that now because we'll cover it a little later on. So while the information society provides great benefits, it also has some risks, and we'll explore those risks a little bit here. So what Kathy and I did, we got together and we put together a plan that encompasses 5 puzzle pieces that will uncover what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to narrow it right down to those 5 things. I'm going to cover 2 of those things. The 2 things that I'm going to cover are habits and the impact that habits have on our productivity, and I'll also be covering self-discipline and the impact that has on our productivity. Kathy warned me that I cannot disclose the other 3 pieces to the puzzle, otherwise it wouldn't be a puzzle. So she's going to uncover those 3 pieces as she gets into her presentation. So as not to confuse you though, these are the 2 things. And when I talk about simple, it really is this simple. But we're going to focus on these two things. Most of you familiar with Michael Gerber. I think everyone has read Gerber's work. What I find interesting, and I hope you do too, it's been 25 years since Gerber talked about how important it is that we work on our business. Now it seems to me that since he disclosed that 25 years ago, we ought to be a little further ahead than we are now. So why do you think we've made such slow progress on this whole issue of working on our business? And I mean, it seemed pretty clear. Everybody talks about this book. Everybody's read it 6 times. Why have we made so little progress towards working on our business? What do you think? So, this is really, to me, this is sad. It is sad to me that 25 years ago, this guy recognized that we needed to make change, and yet 25 years later, we're still scrambling trying to figure that out. So today we're going to give you some very simple solutions, and I believe, I know they have changed my life. I'm always working on them to improve on them. But I think if you adapt some of these things, it can have the same effect on your business. So what we want to do today is to help you become that person that you're capable of becoming. We all recognize that we have potential that we can do. We just want to give you a few easy things that you can do that are not complicated, that can in many ways improve your productivity. So Earl Nightingale said that some of the greatest things that are available to us are free. And most small business owners struggle with having capital, being able to invest. I'd like to get that done, but I can't. I don't really have it. But yet people like Earl Nightingale claim that the greatest thing that we have available to us is free. What do you suppose that might be? What is it that's available to us that's free that we can use? John?
Well, there's a lot of information on the internet.
Okay.
Access it's free.
Yeah. So there's that. Closer in though. What do you think that we have available to us? Yes.
I think a lot of times just thinking that we need something else to achieve what we want to, and really it's just about using what you already have to achieve your goals.
Yeah. So I believe that this to be the solution. It's said another way. I think you were saying it this way, but really it's we already have the solutions. We don't really need to look outside of where we already are. The question becomes, how do you go about using